Hi guys, welcome back to my channel from wherever you are watching. Thanks for watching my videos, subscribing and sharing. And we all know that today we are actually going to be facing Girona away. And the team has actually left to Girona. Then Mikel Arteta in his usual presser because currently now Mikel Arteta is far away in Spain with the team at the stadium called the Estadio Montilivi, home of Girona, to discuss our Champions League encounter with journalists present. Of course, we all know that the match is a very very crucial one. It is a match that we actually have to win because if we do not win that match, our chances are still not 100%. It is important we win the match to be able to secure our top eight finish. I made a video yesterday where I discussed the potentials of if we do not win, if we win, and the likely things that will happen. So you can actually see that video to understand the risk of not winning and why, I think it is very important that we win the match. So going forward to look at Mikel Arteta's presser, he was asked several questions and there has been some topics around, like with Skelly and every other thing. Now, after touching down in the northeast Spain, Mikel Arteta was whisked to the Estadio Montilivi, home of Girona, to discuss our Champions League encounter with the journalists present. He was asked about Miles Lewis Kelly having his red card rescinded, how strong a team he will select, our European away form, and much more. So we all know that Miles Lewis Kelly's red card was rescinded by the PGMOL. So according to the PGMOL, they says that regulatory and discipline updates, an independent regulatory commission has upheld a claim of wrongful dismissal in relation to Miles Lewis Kelly and removed his 3 match suspension. The Arsenal player was sent off for serious foul play during their Premier League fixtures against Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday, 25th January 2025. You see, this topic it has been one of the topics that has generated a lot of controversies online recently, and because it centers around Michael Oliver. I mean, we all know that Michael Oliver, in his usual way, does not favor us now. We are not even asking for favor, actually. We are just asking for a fair play. We are asking for a proper officiating. We are asking for a situation where a referee can properly officiate the match without any bias. But that has not really happened with Michael Oliver over time. And those are the concerns of us now, I mean, Arsenal as a whole, maybe the team, the fans, and whoever is related to us now. So, I mean, it's good to see that even though they did not admit that it was stupid of Michael Oliver to have done that. I mean, for the fact that he even has assistant referees, he has people in the VAR, he has everybody, and they couldn't even tell him to go and check the screen to be sure that that was not a red card. In fact, a straight red card for that matter. So it's really really stupid of him. And yesterday too, one of the topics yesterday online was that, the PGMOL released a statement where they said Michael Oliver is being threatened. The statement reads, "We are appalled by the threats and abuse directed at Michael Oliver following the Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Arsenal fixture. No official should be subject to any form of abuse, let alone the abhorrent, attacks aimed at Michael and his family over the past 24 hours. The police are aware and a number of investigations have commenced. We are supporting Michael and all those affected and are determined to tackle this unacceptable behavior. Sadly, this is not the first time a match official has been forced to deal with threats in recent times. We will continue to support all investigations." Now, of course, football requires reaction. And Michael Oliver is actually not the first person that has been, that this kind of reaction has been given to, even though nobody's supporting it, is absolutely stupid. I remember our match against Newcastle. This same thing happened with Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz's wife was threatened, a lot of people were calling her names and every other thing like that. So things like this shouldn't be encouraged in football. But can we really take it away from football? Maybe yes. But this statement by the PGMOL to me looks more of a deflection. Like they just wanted to deflect away from the real topic of the fact that Michael Oliver really, really messed up almost messed up our match against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So going forward with what Mikel Arteta has to say, he was asked about Lewis Skelly having his red card rescinded, how strong a team he will select, our European away form, and much more. Here is everything he has to say. On Lewis Skelly having his ban revoked, he says we are happy that the decision has been made and Miles is going to be able to play for us in the next 3 games. On the online abuse directed towards Michael Oliver, every time I talk about the topic, regardless of whether it's about a player, a coach, or a referee, it doesn't matter. We really have to work hard to eradicate this part of the game that brings nothing but bad stuffs, leave a bad taste, and make people's life more difficult. Let's get it out. Let's kick it out. Of course, everybody wants a situation where there can be healthy conversations online, and coaches or referees or officials, as a matter of fact, can actually truly have, some sort of respect, and there can be boundaries, where families are not attacked, where personalities are not attacked, and much more. So Mikel went forward to say that, on whether that is his message for the fans. He says it's for everyone in football. It should not be permitted. We don't want it. We don't need it. And certainly damages our sport. Let's get it out. On whether he will select a strong team or rotate against Girona. He says we are here to win the game, and in order to do that, we are going to have to be better than them. They are a really good side. If you look at the games they have played in the Champions League against top oppositions, they have made life very difficult for them. So tomorrow it will be very strong. It will be a very strong team in order to achieve what we want to do, because mathematically the qualifying at the moment is uncertain. Yes, I mean, just like the video I made yesterday, mathematically we still have to win our match today. In fact, before I saw the way the Champions League really, really is. I was of the opinion that players like Havertz and the rest should actually be rested today, because we are facing Manchester City over the weekend, which is really going to be a very tough match and that we have to win. So, but now when I saw what is really going on in the Champions League, I mean, it is important that he fields his best team so that we can actually get the 3 points on time, because it's very, very reasonable if we get the 3 points now, as we are going to be able to avoid tough matches, when the knockout rounds are being done and everything like that. So we need to qualify at the top, not just in the top 8. We need to maintain at that our third position so that we can play a team that is not really so difficult in our round of 16. So going forward, Mikel was asked on whether we may look to buy a different position than a striker. And he responded, there are situations open, and I always say the same. If we can improve the squad with players that can impact us now and in the future, we will try to do that if it is the best thing for the club, and I stand by that. I've always said it time and time again that Arsenal are actually not going to make any transfer this season. I mean, or this transfer window, not this season. Maybe in the summer, yes, but if you have supported Arsenal long enough, you will know that the January transfer window rarely happens. And the last one I remember is actually Trossard. Trossard came to Arsenal in January, and I think that was just a one-off. So I think Ozil as well, but it's really, really not something that happens with Arsenal Football Club. A player rarely comes to Arsenal in January, and it doesn't matter if we need a player right now or not. Arsenal will manage whatever resources they have. So do not really expect anybody coming to Arsenal this January. No, do not expect. If anybody comes to Arsenal this January, it's likely going to be a loan, and more likely not going to be a player that everybody wants. I know we are in talks with Zubimendi, we are in talks with a lot of people, but the transfer window just remains about some few days. I think it's going to be closing February 20. So I can't really remember the date the transfer window is going to be closing. So, you know, on Mikel Merino dealing with injuries. Okay, let me read this one first. On whether Miles' availability changes his thinking for Girona. He says it does affect that because we had a lot of uncertainties, not only for Sunday, but for tomorrow and the next few games as well. Now we have more options because he is going to be available, and that is something very positive for the team. On Mikel Merino's dealing with injury, Mikel Merino, since he came to Arsenal, has always been more or less injured, and him and Califiori. They have always been injured and likely not available at every point in time. It doesn't take away from the fact that they are both good players and we need them because we need squad depth. But their injury problems are something that a lot of fans are bothered about. And journalists asked Mikel Arteta on that, and here is what he has to say. So the question is on Mikel Merino dealing with injuries. He says he's been quite unfortunate, to be honest, but Mikel's character is unbelievable. He is so determined, and now he has some rhythm, some momentum, and has had some very good moments in the last few weeks with us. Unfortunately, he had a little niggle, but it was nothing serious. But we play every 2.5 days, so you miss 2 matches. He's fit again and available, and it's great to have him in the team. So that is what he has to say about that. Now, on Miles Lewis Kelly, on how Miles is doing emotionally. The thing is, a lot of people have been talking about Michael Oliver, his situation with us now, but really, people are not really talking about Miles Lewis Kelly, his emotional stability, 18-year-old breaking into the first team. It is important we need to talk about his own mental health as well. If we are talking about the abuses Michael Oliver is getting and every other thing, what about the future of this young star, Miles Lewis Kelly? I mean, if the red card has not been rescinded by the PGMOL, he's going to be missing the next 3 matches. This guy just broke into the first team, and the next thing is a red card. He's playing really very well. He's having a nice time with the team, and his confidence is growing day by day, and he's getting more attached with the fans. So if he's going to be missing the next 3 matches and Califeri just picked up the form and he's not able to get into the first team anymore, or it becomes very difficult for him to get in the first team anymore, he's also going to affect him Lewis Kelly. So I think, a question like that was directed to Mikel Arteta. I mean, he said he was sleeping on the plane when I looked back and got the news, so I haven't spoken to him. But I imagine he will have a big smile on his face. I mean, that was good to know. On how online abuse can be eradicated. First of all, it's about spending more time making the right decisions with the right people to get it out. We have put in laws, measures, and regulation for that kind of thing, but we haven't done it on social media. And they are all talking about it, but no one seems to be moving strongly enough and bringing people within to get that out of the game because it is just unacceptable. On whether winning Miles' appeal so soon after it was lodged shows anything. He says, I don't know. I'm not an expert in that field. The club has put all the evidence and everything it could put together to defend our position. And it was pretty fast. It's good to know today. It's good to know today, basically. That is helpful. So, PGMOL is actually not going to come out to admit, they made a mistake. The best they can do is just to say that, okay, we have rescinded the card. But I think they can actually do better. There is a reason why we have assistant VARs on the field. They are not just there for as a dummy. So if you understand that a referee has made a mistake on the pitch, it is important for you to call them to the screen. Because I was watching Darren Bent and I watched a few other, pundits who said there is some sort of hierarchy or respect among the referees, whereby the senior referee is officiating a match, but because there are junior referees in the VAR, they do not call them to the screen to come and check what is going on. So this is something that really needs to change. It sounds crazy when you actually hear something like that because you wonder why there is no cohesion, why they are not actually doing their job. Why do you have to take priorities of seniority over doing your real activities on the pitch? So that is just what I have to say about that. On how on how well we are playing away from home in the Champions League. He said we are more consistent, and I think we have been better in understanding that it is extremely difficult to win and overplay oppositions in the Champions League. Tomorrow we are going to face a very good opposition, and we are going to have to be very good to beat them. On whether our improvement in Europe is down to our home or away form. Both and every game, every scenario, every contest is going to be different. It's coming here when we need something from the game and we are here to win. From the first minute, the attitude and determination will be to go for it again and hopefully get the game won. So Hopefully, we are able to win today because a win today is very crucial. A win today will guarantee us a top three finish, and of course, we are going to the round of 16, which is going to be very good. Now, he was asked a question on Kai Havertz's potential having a breather. We have a lot of players with a lot of load. He's not an exception, but his work rate and his desire are great. The way he trained today, it's as if he wants to play tomorrow. And some players, when they are in that rhythm, they want to continue to do that because they feel better. Now, before, if you have been watching my videos, you realize that I've been very critical of Kai Havertz, but now it is important to understand Kai Havertz's role. Kai Havertz is a very crucial player for us now. He does a lot of dirty jobs that we don't even see. And for the fact that we have been very, very kind of biased with Kai Havertz in the sense that he was not brought into Arsenal as a striker in the first place, but he's playing as a striker. Kai Havertz is like a kind of a Muller kind of a player where he's able to play as a 10, as a 6. He can play different positions on the field. So because he can play different positions on the field, I can tell you for a fact that if Kai Havertz really has a true striker that he can play with, the way Ronaldo played with Benzema, for example, then in Real Madrid, if he has that kind of a setting in Arsenal, he's really going to do a lot. He's really going to provide a lot of assist and do a lot of those things. But the kind of system now, the way football is right now, the number 10 role is not really very important right now. It's just the 6, the 4, the 8. Those are the ways new managers do it now. So it's really difficult for Kai Havertz to be able to put in goals, but he can actually improve on that because I've said it in my previous video as well that, sorry, if Kai Havertz was able to score more goals, he will actually be the talk of town because he's very hardworking. He comes to the midfield to pick up the ball, he does all these things, but he's not just able to score goals. So if he's able to actually improve on this, I think everybody will just begin to rate him as the top, 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 top player. So, that is what he has to say on Kai Havertz. So on how we plan to use the gap in games if we qualify for the next stage. He said we have already got a few ideas. We still have to earn the right to do we still have to earn the right to do what we ideally want. And yes, we certainly will use it. So Mikel Arteta was asked again that on Girona being part of a multi-club model. Of course, you know that Girona is actually Manchester City's junior. I mean, that is what everybody is saying. Manchester City is junior because those who own Manchester City are also those who owns Girona. So it's more or less like we are playing Manchester City's junior, and it's really, really going to be interesting to see how the whole thing turns out. So these are actually what happened at what's the name of the stadium again? At the Estadio Montilavai, the home of Girona, where Mikel Arteta discussed our Champions League encounter with journalists. So it's really interesting. So what do you guys think about it? What do you think the scoreline is going to be today? Do you see Arsenal winning by how many goals? Because I predict Arsenal is going to win by 3 goals to 1. They will get a goal, but we are going to win by 3 goals to 1. So we are going to be finishing the Champions League, league phase, on a strong note. So what do you guys think? Please kindly drop your comments in the comment section. Please do share my video, like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you again for watching my videos.